Are we called to order?
Let's call us to order right now.
Okay.
7:03. 4. Um, there's nobody here, so there's no public comments. We're going to skip the approval of the minutes from last month because we don't have them finalized yet. So we'll move right to the payment of bills. Okay. Ted, is there anything we should know?
Basically, there's just a whole pile of bills.
Just a big pile, okay. Yes, there are, wow.
There's insurance and choice words. There were two, we got both invoices for choice words in there, right?
Okay,
Invoice
Yes.
has been paid for 2,000 for 1,000.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Great.
that's, and then the other insurance,
Well, you have the liability for
yeah, the
4,000.
life. So that bumped it up a lot.
Okay, so, does anyone have any questions about those? They look pretty straightforward to me. Should we just roll to, making a motion? Ethan, would you make a motion?
Sure. I'm kidding. Motion to approve. The bills 250617F in the amount of $27,521.90.
I'll second.
And Carrie seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, back to the other reports. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. Look pretty straightforward. Any comments?
We got the 10,000 American Library grant
Wonderful.
in May.
Okay, yeah, I see that. You've added that to the grant report. And added that to the income. Yay!
Did that go to anything specific?
It does. We have to do, it's for helping disabled people use the library. So I'm in the middle, excuse me, of doing interviews with, patrons and other people who are disabled to see what we could do to improve the library to help them access services. So if you know of anybody who might be willing to talk to me, I would appreciate it because I've had 3 so far.
Okay.
And two of which were the door, like putting an automatic door. And I don't know, are we allowed to do that since we don't own the building? I mean, I think it's something that you could,
If we paid for it, I'm sure they would be fine with it, but I'm sure it's more than $10,000.
You mean putting the door, the inside door?
yeah, an electric door, like an
With
automatic
the blue
door.
handicap
Yeah.
button.
The one that they put on was like 5,000. So I think that they did last time. So that would eat up a lot of it, but not all of it. Excuse me. But that's one thing I was wondering if we would be able to.
I don't think they have a problem with that as long as we're gonna pay for it. They just don't wanna pay for it. They also wanna make sure that we're not doing anything that makes us do other things.
Right.
So that's the thing, right?
Right,
Right, because
Right.
if we do one thing, then do we have to actually do the entrance
The
that
ramp.
we,
Yeah.
that none of them wanna do?
right.
That was one comment had been that the ramp is not flush with the sidewalk, but I think the door might be a good candidate if they would let us do. And if y'all would like to use that money for that, that would be I've had two of the three people said that they would like that.
Yeah, I think we should find out what the biggest need is. I mean, obviously the door is a huge need. I'm not dismissing that, but like, is it, large print books or is it, braille books? I don't know. I'm just,
Yeah, I still got to do some more.
Delivery service to home.
delivery services.
You cannot do that with $10,000. You cannot do that. And I will show you, we've got the insurance quotes for the furniture that we got for the grant, and I'll share that with y'all.
Mhm.
Well, that's another thing. Is there any furniture that we could buy with that 10th? Is there some like kind of, like, like in a lot of schools, they have the chairs for the kids that are actually rock because they have, well, you probably know this with your ADHD or autism or whatever. Like that's a different disability, if you want to call it. It's not really a disability, but whatever you want to call it, right? So that might be something we could buy too.
A lot of, yeah, that's some,
Some sensory stuff.
yes,
you
that's
know?
exactly what was on my list.
So,
So from my
um,
interviews, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't want to spend all of it on the door. If we could do,
Yeah.
but the door that they put in is not great, but it works. But it's something that you can take off if you wanted to
Mhm.
and
Right.
put on the regular one again. So
Right.
it's not a special thing. Anyway, that's.
Okay, so we should make a motion to approve the financial reports, the income report and the expense report. As well as all the other reports.
Motion to approve the financial reports.
Saying bye-bye.
okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Who
I
moved?
wasn't-
I didn't hear. Kiri?
I was,
I seconded.
Who moved?
Just one
Ethan
other thing.
firsted.
I wonder if making that room a walling off that room with the glass wall, if we used it as a quiet room for someone who needs quiet, because they have sensory issues. So that might be also, I mean, that would take up the whole $10,000, I realize, but I don't know, just another thought.
Yeah, I had thought of that too. So we should talk.
yeah, okay,
May I
Uh,
please interject?
Yeah,
yeah,
We had a benefactor give us 2 donations. $450 was earmarked for the Inez freeze.
Mhm.
$485.06 was not earmarked. I'd like to have a motion, if you approve, to use $450 out of the $485.06 and just use that whole thing, totaling $900, to pay Inez Foods for the freeze.
Ethan, you're the closest to it. What do you think?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to do whatever Ted just said.
I
to
just need
earmark
motions.
that gift for the Inez freeze.
Yes,
Okay,
So
I-
$450 out of the $485.06.
okay.
Does someone want to
Speaking of,
second it?
we should vote on that. All in favor?
Right, who seconded
Do
it?
we have a motion?
I motioned it
Carrie motioned.
poorly. Who's seconding it?
Somebody second.
You said-
Yeah,
Second,
okay,
you
I'll
want-
second
if you
it,
want to
sure.
do-
Sure, put my name on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Sorry.
No.
Do we have a timeline on that? She comes back at the
She's
end of the.
done it,
Oh,
done.
finished.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did it last month or
That's awesome.
this month.
Oh, I didn't,
Yeah,
I wasn't even aware.
it was on my facilities report.
That's,
Oh,
that's
okay.
awesome because we were gonna tear the whole thing down, remember?
Oh, no.
we
Or,
We were never gonna do that, but a patron came in and thought we were, and was very upset about it. We're not taking it down.
My president's report is not very detailed. We need to wrap up this getting the stuff on the ballot. And I've been thinking about that while I've been kind of recuperating. there was a Zoom last week that I went to with the 414 group. And I definitely feel like we started just a little too late. So, for next year, we have to begin this kind of end of first quarter. We can't rush this. We have to make sure it gets done properly.
So we're not gonna do it this year?
No, I think at this point, we have to keep going,
I agree.
but we have a very short window now, the next 3 weeks, to get everything, the petitions drawn up and signed and voted on next month here. So we really need, like,
A lawyer to call us back.
Yes.
yeah.
So he's just not returning our calls? Is he dead?
No, his secretary answers.
Okay.
And I leave messages and I gave him my cell phone number. So nothing's happened and I've emailed.
There's a woman in that office as well.
She's very good, but she does employment.
Oh,
She's
okay.
the employment, but I will make it a daily thing to call.
Okay, so I think we should call Rebecca and say we're having trouble getting to him. We're under the wire. Could she call him or could she give us another name? I'd rather use the same guy because it's easier, but if he's
But
in the middle of, a huge
Definitely.
lawsuit that he doesn't have time to do our thing, then we just need to find someone.
So-
I just asked for a yes or no. I mean, today I said, I need a yes or no. Can we use the same language that we used last time on this? If no, let me know what it is. But I don't.
We're
gonna
gonna,
use it.
today we're using the same language
Okay.
as last year. So we'll, we have to do that,
Who was the
but
attorney?
Jenna, Robert Schofield with what's their
it's
name?
been Albany.
Oh,
Yeah,
they deal with like library
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, he does.
and they provides the language and everything that we need for the votes and for the petitions, and it's a whole like a kit that you just get.
Who does Mitt Hudson use?
Them.
Oh.
That's who they
Good
recommend.
question, Ethan.
Which again, so on that, like at the end of first quarter next year, we need to call and verify that we can use them as our lawyer for this or find someone else. And then we have to, start the process much earlier. Okay. That's about all I want to say.
Where did you want to do the budget vote? Like, do you want to
I-
discuss, Patty, where?
I think that has to be new business at this
Okay.
point because we didn't give it a slot.
Okay.
Can I say something for marketing, which is not actually marketing?
Yes.
So I've emailed, as you've seen, a friend Paul Mays a couple of times, and it's also radio silence from Paul Mays. So just FYI.
Okay. That time of year. I think he's got a bunch of projects that are like just finishing up.
But it's fine.
Brianna worked with me to get the furniture list.
Yeah,
for that
yes.
thing, so she's.
Yeah.
We had a
Good.
good meeting, so, yeah.
I didn't realize how far reaching he goes. He's doing the Beekman remodel. He did Highland. He's done a
Kind of a
lot.
cool, it's like a cool niche.
I also think he's got
Architecture
I think
business.
his firm, may not be him, but his firm's doing a project that was just having their grand opening up in Athens. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on. But he is the Hudson Valley's library architect. Jean?
Oh, hi.
Would you like to meet?
So I've been out of the country. I've been abroad. Friends had Deanne come and talk to us about what the library offers. And it was very good for us to hear, so as we represent the library. And then at the same time, we had a voting thing going on in the library where we take requests and we earmarked purchases. So anyway, we counted the votes and there are books and family films and adult films, not bad ones. Like A Complete Unknown and whatever, and audiobooks, which we will purchase in the library. Deanne.
We'll get to it, I promise.
We'll think of it. Is there anything else?
Dean, I have a question. So we'll need to get you to, the friends to buy the
Right, I
signs for
figure
the, for
when
the
you talk
401
about
club.
that, I would
We'll,
ask you.
yeah, I mean, we need to figure out
Right,
what we wanted to say and everything, but
right.
we'd love to go to the friends again for that and purchase.
Well, yeah, and last time you made up the signs,
Yep.
you know, and everything. The signs were dated.
Yeah.
So could have used them again.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, maybe we don't date them.
That's a good idea for
Just
this
say
time.
election day.
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
yeah, so we just, Alexis, I guess, took care of it all.
Yeah, she used Canva or something to,
And then, we just paid them.
all right, so we'll just make sure we need to do that.
And Jenna, that's because the library cannot do it to that.
Okay.
So we can,
We can say what the library does, we just can't say vote yes. We can just say
Yeah.
what the
so
library
we-
does.
So we need them to do the persuasive stuff. We just can remind people to get, you know,
That the vote's happening.
registered, get the vote. That it's happening.
so they did lawn signs, but did they also do post?
Yeah, we did do a postcard.
Yeah, we should do another,
Yeah,
I think there were 2 mailers. That y'all did 2 mailers.
yeah, I think one is great.
thank you. Deanne,
Okay, recent programs, this is the first time we were able to utilize a bus service from Cold Springs and Seymour Smith. We learned a lot. It mostly worked out. We have some, I guess, logistical things we need to do better on, so we will do better on that next year. It went really well. We had like 17 kids who came to the last art program here with Jeremiah. And
That's huge.
yeah, and then we had like another 6 show up, so it was like 25 kids. But most of them came on the bus.
Are
And
they
then
going to, sorry to interrupt, are they going to both schools and then coming here, or they're
No.
going from Cold Spring?
we had one bus from
To-
Cold Spring who could come one week, and then one bus from Seymour Smith that could come the next week. So they will not do double. It's just one at a time.
Yeah.
Twice
is
a month.
that because
Okay.
of their staffing issues?
For the bus.
Yeah.
So we share, yes, it's because they allow 2 buses for Stanford, and now they've added us to the 2 buses. So I've coordinated with Krista so that we do not step on any of their programs and vice versa. So we have them on different days, different weeks. But yeah, we have to share, so.
I was part of the buffing.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and let's see, on June 10th, for Seymour Smith was the mythical creatures. We worked with Clay, and then the next one was June 10th, where we did the graphic novelist who came in. He was really good. We did 2 programs, one for high school and then one for elementary. And we only had like 3-4 people show up for the high school one. But we had 21 with the elementary
That's
kids,
great.
and it went really well. I think everyone had a really good time, and my child went to the high school one, and they were really impressed with them, and so it was good. Again, we learned some lessons with logistics with bringing kids in, and we had it upstairs this time, and so that was
I'm allowed to do that.
I reserved the room. Yeah, I reserved the room. And it went but we'll improve for next time. We've started tech time with Alex. We need to get this in the paper if we can to publicize a little bit more. I think we had one come the first time, but we haven't had anybody since. It takes a while to get some programs going. We just keep pounding the advertising and stuff, but
Especially ones that are like that are kind of like open house, open.
but Annie's doing a computer 101, so maybe we could do some cross marketing with that.
We need to get them to fix it on the calendar. It's not tech time with Alexa.
Yeah, we spoke to Deb.
Oh, yeah, she was embarrassed. I felt so bad for her.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the last of the managing conflict effectively
Mhm.
workshop. it's a good workshop. I think I'm gonna ask her if she could shorten it and to make it a little bit more specific to some certain situations. It's really good, really good. But I think going forward, 6 is too many for our town, and we would need to do, I think, a more effective
Like
use of
one-off,
time. Huh?
they do one-offs instead of.
Or maybe 2, and because there's a lot of material that she covers and she's really good with good
Mhm.
discussions and the groups are small. But if you had specific scenarios that you were trying to manage conflict on, so I think that might be a better way to.
When we did, we had one of the big New York law firms called Oscar Rose, and it was our huge big law firm in New York, and they would come in and do our sexual assault training. And they used lots and lots of anecdotes, and it was, I mean, some of them were just like completely ridiculous and funny, but it was very helpful in you sort of hearing the stories and the situations and the examples. I thought that was a much more interesting way to learn about it, and it was also much more.
Right. She does the same thing with her own stories and we bring our own stories. It's a good conversation. So it's definitely worth pursuing with just some modification. I also wanted her to do one for teens to managing conflict because online conflict, in a classroom conflict, things like that. So she's gonna do something like that. Let's see, our teen board started meeting. We've had 2 meetings. We have created a slew of program frameworks that we can do in maybe starting in the summer. I have to see how much summer camp is going to impact us. But we're starting to line up speakers and workshops for the fall with financial management, college applications. And then we're doing one. I'm not sure if it's going to be with Legit or not. We have a songwriter who does a workshop on how to write songs and the business aspect of being a musician.
That's cool.
And he's coming in July, and I have to get him a room at the inn, at the Pine Plains Inn, because he's going to be coming in from out of town. But it should be a really interesting. He does music, and then he shows how he writes songs and how he does the business aspect of it. So I thought it would be a really kind of
Ask
cool
for a
thing.
discount.
Oh, he gives a library discount. Yeah. Oh, from the Inn of Pine Plains?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't contacted me back. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, road trip is going really well. We're very happy with the responses that people come in.
Great.
That's great.
We get people
Did you get people
Oh, yeah.
regularly?
six a day sometimes.
Wow.
It's been from all over.
That's amazing.
Even on Saturday, it was
It's such an
Actually, I
easy
think
thing to
people.
do.
I'll be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's one person did it before.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Show him your
That's your sticker.
show him your thing you won. You
Oh,
got-
yeah, I didn't even open it, but here, tote bag,
You
it's
got a
in the
tote
thing.
bag.
Well done.
I haven't got, Jay and I were gonna do some more this week, but, or last week.
So fun.
It is, and all of you should do it, because I've gotten a ton of ideas going to
I had
every
that.
library,
How many
I went to that
are
myself.
there?
70,
Jesus, you went to 70 libraries? That's amazing.
and half of them not using my own gasoline, that's even more convenient.
So you.
I see you have a
gone to
broken
all
leg,
of
but just
them?
wait 1 second.
Tomorrow will be all of them.
Okay.
Tomorrow we're doing Greene County.
Oh, okay, I did, I did. Green County first.
Saugerties is in Greene County, so I guess starting there and then
That's impressive.
You're going backwards from the way I did it. I went
That's
Up.
so amazing.
north and came down. and
Oh,
then
for Green?
already.
we did Greene already. Saugerties is left. I was
Yeah.
telling Annie, we gotta pick up some weird ones. And then we gotta do Grinnell.
You should have done a photo.
Yeah,
book.
I
We
know.
could have
Grinnell is the
posted your
one.
Beacon.
picture at every single
Yeah,
library.
like Flat Stanley.
Yeah.
I actually found some really good things and I have lots of thoughts and ideas and stuff.
And it's shocking, the difference between libraries is very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. What's the one we went to? Was it Fishkill? Where did we go?
Boardman for that.
For that, yeah, that's a really nice library.
Oh, Boardman
Nice
Road.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
Okay, so that's gone real well. We
Are they sending more maps?
yes, they did. Yeah, we had a slight glitch in that. We weren't checking them out like we should, but they helped us and fixed it and sent us more maps. So we're doing fine. And it's gone real well. let's see, summer reading starts next week and, McCad just gave me some of the numbers. We're doing pre-registration because we're actually using a Stewart's grant to buy books, one book that they can use. And McCadden's come up with a really neat game for teams to pick either a Warrior Cat book or a Dogman book. And they're going to be reading competitions between the two groups for prizes and a
That's
grand
great.
prize. So, but we're getting these bags. We got these bags. I think the graphic's a little big, but these are reusable bags that
Oh,
we're
those are
gonna
great.
send them their books with and some materials for them to
Awesome.
to do that. But
My son loved both of those series.
oh yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, we're in the Dogman
I
phase
mean,
right
the
now.
Warriors, I mean, I think I dropped off like 75 Warrior books here during the book sale.
my oldest liked that too. But these are the graphic novels. We're getting them because these are brand new books. The Warrior Graphics novel is brand new, so we're ordering as soon as I've got these numbers, I can order the books. And so what we had that was for the elementary age, and for sevens and below, we only announced yesterday that what the books was, I think we're ordering, it's a similar book, but it's for little ones. It's we've had 10 children sign up for that, so that's pretty good.
What's the book? You don't remember? Okay.
Ooh, I can look it up real quick.
It's Puppy Got a Cat or something like that, or I can't remember.
I think I remember the picture on the
Yeah.
the post, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's a fun, it doesn't matter.
So we'll get them a copy of that one too. So we have enough funds for that with Stewart's and some other grants. We shouldn't have a problem, but I thought this was a good idea to be able to give them their book to start, and then we can get the rest of the book for.
Just let me interject that I'm in the process of getting the restaurant gift certificates for the adult reading.
Thank you.
It's a raffle and they pick
Yeah.
at the end of the summer.
Okay, so the game will hopefully, what we end up doing is getting a lot of signups at the beginning, and then we'll have one or two kids finish and get, all the prizes. So this is trying to keep them engaged throughout the
Right.
whole process, because we're giving more you get stickers, you can get some little notebooks and
Yeah.
things like that. So we're
Yeah.
upping those prizes so that they can keep coming back in and getting more books. And we will be ready to launch on June 2nd. Summer camp
July
is
2nd.
I'm sorry, July 2nd. Summer camp begins July the 1st. We've got McCadden's done all the entertainment. We're putting posts out about what the lineup is. Hopefully we're getting a new student volunteer to help us on Tuesdays from the Stissing Center. She's volunteering there, and she said she
Oh,
would
yeah.
come,
Okay.
and Yvette, she said she would come and help us as well. Any questions about summer reading or summer camps? Okay. I discontinued the New York Times because nobody was reading it and it was costing me money. Instead, I had more people asking for Consumer Reports. So I've subscribed to Consumer Reports. We now have it in a hard copy as well as online. They can
Makes sense.
they can get online here. So
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
But they have to be physically here.
yeah, I guess I could give them the codes. I haven't
Mhm.
explored that. It just came through, but I'll have to see how we can do that. Most others will do that. There is a way to subscribe on the New York Times just online, but it's $3,000 a year for us. And there's a way we could possibly do a combo with Stanford if they wanted to do it, but I don't know that it would be that much of a draw that way either. Millerton says they get a lot of checkouts from it, but I don't know. But we can talk about that later.
Well, Millerton's 10 minutes away and driving.
Yeah.
Or you can subscribe to the digital version like I do.
Yeah.
$4 a month or $4 a week, whatever.
Okay, so trustee education, it's ongoing.
Trustee education.
I'm halfway done.
Yay.
I spent some time this week and I'm halfway done.
Thank you.
I
So-
appreciate the reminder.
Yeah, I'm doing one. I'm doing them as well. I mean, I'm doing the insurance one for tomorrow, and there's some other things that are doing. They're really, really good.
What are these, like courses you're saying?
Yeah, you have to have
Yeah.
2 hours of community of education every year, and they fly by because they really do some good.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, they
So how do you access them?
I'll send you a packet. I need to, since you were just, I'm sorry, and we didn't
That's okay.
properly welcome you to the board. Thank you.
Fine.
But I'll send you a packet.
Okay, awesome.
I have to
Thank
get
you.
you added to the thing.
Mid Hudson does do trustee education live sessions where they tell you what the subject is and you can go and listen in and they do some basics for new trustees and
Yeah, like what does it
Yes,
mean to
but-
be a trustee?
But a lot of them are Zoom and they're recorded afterwards. So if you just sign up for them, you can get access to it later if you can't attend it at that particular time. So so May Analytics, we're looking good on, May was up. We've been weeding card holders because we've had some interesting things with card holders and online card holders. So we've had to make people have been abusing online card applications, not just at our library, at every library.
Or not just the 5-year-old that was doing it as well?
No. There's I went to the DCLA, the Dutchess County Library Association meeting on Friday, and they were telling us about a Reddit string that was people sharing their online codes for different libraries so that people could get somebody else's library number and use it to get online content, not realizing that we pay for each click that somebody does on some of these things. So they had the Reddit thread shut down. There was one on Facebook too. They got it shut down too. But we've made it so
I
that
think they're being so smart.
I know, but anybody who applies for our library on an online card, it will not allow them 30 days. It's instantly
The first day of the year.
Oh, no.
So it's
Still have
yeah, it
I mean-
expires. It expires. It's expired and they have to come in to prove that they're residents.
We also seem to have problems with people not realizing they registered, so I can see the time when an account was made and there'll be 5 within a minute.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh, like it didn't fit in the.
Yeah.
So something's
fast
not
enough.
happening when you click
Yeah.
the button.
Yeah.
yeah, that, or
Okay.
sometimes they'll be like a day apart, so I'm guessing they either missed a confirmation email or something, so they think it didn't go through. So yeah, some people have had like 5 cards.
That is
Alright,
common.
that's
too.
a little excessive.
Yeah, that's common. So,
Wow.
yeah. So our total circulation is up 18% year over year. Sierra checkouts are up 14%. Overdrive for ebooks is down 7%. But audiobooks are up 24%. Hoopla numbers, Canopy numbers are way up. I did not get socials this month because I finally got access back to my Facebook account. So it doesn't change. Facebook, it's the same. Hardly it changes.
Okay.
So how would you average all of this to say there's a general percentage increase of library use? Or is it a little too,
No, we can do that. We have overall, what is our like eDrive for that? Overall statistics are up for all
Or even-
checkouts, all circulation. We have a number that says overall circulation is up across all platforms.
Yeah, I don't have that on. Do you
Yeah,
want me
we
to
don't
go
have
grab it? Oh, actually, hold on.
No, well,
We do have that statistic. We can say overall, and that we will use that in our.
that's our selling
Yes.
point
yeah,
for the
that's what we
414.
need. We need it.
Yeah.
We need it when we start marketing.
So our overall,
And increase in hours too. we talked about that.
yes. Let's see, we have, we were down a little bit in 2024 from 2023 because of the because the campers weren't. They were
Right.
left a hole, and that happened to a lot of libraries. There were, because of weather, there were a lot of libraries who didn't
Yeah.
receive their campers regularly, and it affected their numbers. But so far right now, I think I did the numbers. We were 18% over where we were this time last year, so we're way ahead. And any other where our programs are humming right along, and
Yeah, it looks great.
our strength and balance class, we had 11 yesterday.
Maybe I should do that.
It's good. I enjoy it.
Strength and
Too
balance.
soon.
Too soon.
Yeah, maybe a little.
And that's that for that.
I'm
And
just gonna bust it.
did you want to vote on the director's report? Are there any more questions?
Yes, let's make a motion to accept Dan's director's report for May.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Gary's making the motion.
I'll second.
Jenna's seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Facilities report?
let's just cruise right through.
Okay. I need to get your permission to renew our deep freeze subscription. It is a 3-year, I would like to do the 3-year subscription for it. Deep freeze is what we use on our patron computers to wipe off one session to the next. So when one person finishes, it just wipes it clean and then the next session starts and all libraries use it. So,
Okay.
but it's a subscription and as I understand it, I need to get permission for something that's renewable every year or, and I don't know.
I make the
I-
motion.
What's the
What?
cost?
It's called Deep Freeze and, a 3-year option is $254.12. I'm sorry. Yeah, for 3 years versus 184.80 for 1 year. So I'd like to do the 254 and that will
Okay,
do.
the only question I have about that is that with the use of AI, is something else that's gonna come out that's gonna be better than deep freeze? Can we get out of
No.
it? It's not, nothing's
I
gonna
don't
come
think
out.
so.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, Deep Freeze is a totally different thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, yeah.
okay.
yeah, it's used in academic, public, private. It's the
I
thing.
just wanted to ask an Ethan question.
Okay, no, it's good.
I
You just spread it around.
So I was thinking, I met with the architects, the interior designer for the architect firm, and she was really good. And we thought of a way to put those 3 computers on this counter using dividers that we can pay for with that grant, the
Uh-huh.
youth grant.
Okay,
And then that other side, I want to put the scanning station on because I think we need I need more room than what's over at the coffee
Okay.
bar. And to put the scanning station right next to the printer, and I think that'll work.
okay.
But I would like, if that's okay with y'all, and I'll just use,
Yeah,
Okay.
if you can reconfigure that space in a way that works, go
yeah,
for it.
that's what we can
Could we
do.
go back, please? Could we go back? Deanne, I
Yes.
think, were you asking for a motion to approve the renewal of deep freeze?
Do I need one? Do I need one?
Well, I think you said you want permission, so why don't we just formalize it? And so I'll say I'm making, I will make that motion.
Okay,
To renew deep freeze for a 3-year contract for $254.
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll move that. And so we're looking at the U grant to some really cool furniture she's chosen or she's suggested for things, but we have to get our insurance in line.
Right.
And I'm having trouble getting numbers back from the firms that I've sent it to. The one that I did get yesterday. So we have to add a cyber policy, an umbrella and a professional policy.
Mhm.
And I got information back on the cyber policy from Emery and Webb. And that's gonna add, at the rate that at the levels that the county wants, it's $2,200 for a $1 million limit. The umbrella would be $2,500 range. So we're looking at, just for those 2. And that we haven't even added the professional,
5,000 annual.
at least.
It's a lot.
What do we pay for the rest of the insurance for the building? Do we pay anything?
Ted, isn't that? just part of the-
4,000.
It's 1,000 or 4,000? 4,000. So we're talking about doubling our insurance at least?
At least. So what I'm gonna propose, since this is just for furniture, I'm gonna see if the county will let us have a waiver on, do we need 5 million or do we need 3 million? Can we get it lower? Cause there was, the $1 million limit was, as high as the company would go because we're so small.
Right,
So I'm gonna,
That's for the umbrella policy?
That's for the cyber. so the umbrella at 5 million would be 2,500. I'm gonna see if we can go down to 3 million.
I don't think we, need. Yeah.
I don't even know. But I'm gonna check for waivers, but this is the first time I've had any numbers.
Right,
So I will keep working on that, but that's the only thing that's holding us back with getting that.
yeah, because it would really suck to have to spend that much, excuse me.
That would-
To have to spend that much to get that much money from the grant
Right.
to pay for furniture, we could just buy furniture.
Right, it would eat up the grant.
Yeah.
It would eat up the grant. Okay, so I'm gonna check with the county on that. So we talked about the doors, the automatic doors. I want to get an automatic door counter. It's $175 each. I find it's just a waste of our time to have people clicking the little clicker things when we could just do it automatically. And the other libraries are using this one. It's $175 from,
And
Amazon.
count is it's every time it opens, it's counting?
I think it's a bean breaker almost. So
Okay.
you would be, you would have one on this door and one on that door, but people have been using them for years, this
And it
particular.
knows whether you're going in or
Yeah,
out.
but it does
Are you-
become it becomes a softer number. Just, you can't
Does it?
use. Yes, because every time you walk in and out of the door, it counts it.
Oh,
Every time, in, out, in, out, in, out. So
Same with me.
you have to, yeah, you're
well,
gonna
that's
have
when we
to,
count you. We count you then
yeah.
when you do that.
But so the truth is that it becomes a soft statistic, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like you just then acknowledge, we changed the way we're counting this, it's, and then you can see trends. Cause we used one that was hooked up to our security system at Cooper. And yeah, every time they came in to change the garbage, they'd roll the bin in and they'd roll the body in and like whatever,
Yeah.
so it's like everything gets counted. So,
Didn't we have one at one time?
Yeah, Veronica got one and I think somebody told me it broke pretty quickly. Cause I think it was going by door usage.
Oh, I don't know.
that
I
was,
missed it, but-
Well, the one that was recommended by the group for the
okay.
DCLA for this one, but we'll check it out. But I think it's a better use of our time if we don't have to think about that every single time to jump on that.
Right. I think that's.
I'm taking away.
No, I'm not stressed about this. Many people love doing it.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is that you can, pick 1 week a quarter where you count everything, phone calls, reference,
Oh.
like, and then just do like a 1 week where you count and then, and count that and then, like start working on the trends that way. It's okay not to count every time somebody walks in the door. It's really okay. As long as you're getting trending numbers over time.
And we did that here too.
Yeah.
Remember if it was for a month or.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the last thing was the Mid-Hudson has informed me that we are on the list to be cut for a one delivery day a week. They're currently going because of our declining numbers of books that are being circulated. We are 70 books below the threshold. I'm so upset by this, but they're going out.
So we have to have 70 more books delivered to us each month to get back
No.
on the list?
I think it's cumulatively. I think you said they used 3 years worth of data.
No, it's yearly.
It's
It's yearly.
yearly.
So last year we were 500 or I think it was $585 books below the threshold, but they
Patrick
kept
McMurray.
everyone. I'm sorry? Oh,
Yeah.
they kept everyone at the same delivery levels
I was.
because
She's on
of
top
budget,
We
the
spoke,
budgeting issues.
Both by email and.
But this year they
and
have
on
to
the
go out
phone, and
for
she's going through,
another contract with their delivery service. And so
Okay.
they're revising,
I
they're
did.
asking for a bid
I
based
did,
on the
yeah.
current delivery schedules. And then also one
She
where
said,
they
"Oh, we walked
reduce
through it. She
the
has-
number
she
for
has
20
access to all the
libraries.
information."
And we're
One
on
of the
that list.
questions was, and I,
70
to try to get in
books
front
below
of it,
the
I called Keith Leach
5,001
first.
is
I guess
the
there's an
minimum
issuance,
for 3 days.
So it's-
that sort of
it's
pending.
Books we
and,
circulate in and
Circulate
out
in and
It's
out. No,
clear.
that we
through
send
the-
out and bring
through the
in.
delivery.
Right, through the delivery.
So if we stall request 100 books or 10 books, we.
I don't know. Yeah, that might work, but it was just
I do my part.
Yeah, me too.
Are they extrapolating or are they using the hard numbers?
They
So we
think
can't
that-
do anything about it. We can only do how we'll be assessed for next year.
Well, correct. We are at this moment in time when they put the stake in the ground as to what they're going to go out for bid, we were 70 below. But
Okay.
it may be okay that they, because they're actually going to have to increase their fees, which is another one that I just put on the last one. They're going to have to, I found on Friday, they are going to have to increase their fees to
Mhm.
everyone because the funding situation is okay at the moment. But if something happens with the Medicaid at the national level and it affects New York will pull out all the stops to keep the rural hospitals open. That's a $10 billion
Right.
cost. And so they will pull back everything else, including libraries. So right now, everyone's come through just fine with for library budgets. Everyone's going to get their capital funds because of lawsuits filed in federal level with the IMLS. But they're just, this is a cautionary move on their part, which makes our ask for 414 money that much more important because
Mhm.
we're gonna not be able to rely, we're gonna have to pay more for everything.
Okay,
So yeah, we were 548 below last year. That's where, does anybody have any questions on that?
no,
But honestly, if they close out our Friday delivery, we don't get that all that much anyway, so it will not be that big of a deal. It's just annoying. And that's my report.
okay.
So are we gonna do the door counters?
Um,
I think that was a no, wasn't it?
no, I thought we're doing, I have no problem doing it.
Okay.
I just, like if, we could think about other ways of doing statistics. If you would like to get the door counters, they're not that expensive.
I would be curious if you did the automatic door counters for a few months of comparative numbers. So
At the same
keep doing
time.
the manual
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh.
and see how much of a differential it is. I don't anticipate it's gonna be a ton, but what do I know?
Yeah. So
Hardly anything.
let's approve. Do we need to approve them or can you just buy them?
I just buy 'em.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay. Gary, do we have marketing?
No,
No?
but I need to start making, I guess I'll need to start making the 414 postcards and stuff,
Right.
unless Deanne wants to do it.
How much am I allowed to do? I understand there's,
Well, Alexis did it last time. Let me find the old one we have and see
As
what I
long as we're
can.
not paying for it, right? I think you could do everything.
Well, you're not telling anyone to vote yes on those postcards. Those postcards are just,
No, yeah.
are just statistics
Information.
that the vote is coming up. This is what we're looking for. This is what we do. So,
20% increased usage equals this amount of dollars to $100,000 assessed value. It's really not that much. Everything to say vote yes without saying vote. Yes.
yeah, we can do that. I can do that.
Well, if the friends are sending it out, we can actually say vote yes on the
would
postcard.
she say, but then, so we just add the vote yes after she finishes working on it? I mean,
I think as long as you're not saying it,
Well, I can put out the community report, which is due,
Right.
which would be,
yeah,
we could print that and I can show
Right.
all those statistics.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
and we can take some of those and put those into
Sure,
the
sure.
card. So it
Yeah,
should,
you have what you did last year.
yeah, I can find it.
The signs are down, there's some in the basement.
Okay.
yeah,
We didn't do anything but pay for it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, Alexis did all the design work,
Take it to
yeah.
the
I mean,
post office or anything.
with assistance and, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine.
okay.
Okay, so fundraising, I don't have anything to say about fundraising. Let's do the policy review. We looked at this gifts policy, was it last month?
Mhm.
Okay, and we made some changes.
Yeah, I made the edits too,
Okay.
because I didn't understand, well, we didn't really have where did my copy go? A gift, like that I know of that for naming things. We didn't really, oh, thank you. We
Right.
didn't really have, that was the only thing that I edited
Right.
out. Where did that go?
You edited out the first paragraph of the gift program.
Gift
Yeah.
program.
That was it. Everything else looked nice.
Okay. So do we,
We're gonna approve them?
as revised, do we accept it, make a motion? I'll make a motion. I need a second.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the second one was the investment. And that looked fine. I mean, that,
So I actually didn't have a chance to read this, I'm sorry. So you made no changes to this?
I made no
You think everything looks good?
yeah, I mean, that's something y'all should look at as well, but from my standpoint, it was absolutely like foolproof. There was nothing, it's what was done then is still applicable.
So I see you added the date at the bottom to reaffirm it to Patrick.
could I just take 3 minutes to give it a closer look?
Yes,
I looked at it quickly earlier, but give me 3 minutes right now on the phone, please.
okay,
Maybe less than 3.
okay.
I'm done. I was just looking for a couple of specific things and they're fine.
Okay. So can we have a motion to
I
reaffirm?
will move to accept the what's the word you would say? Is it the reaffirmed investment policy of the Pine Plains Free Library?
In a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconding, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Is there old business?
There are
Or-
old policies that are still on me to move forward on. Sorry, I'm the bad student.
Okay, well, we'll come back to them then when you're ready.
Thank you.
So the ICE policy and the Narcan policy?
Yeah,
Yes.
What's the holdup on the Narcan policy? I don't understand that. The ICE one's more complicated, but
The only holdup was I wanted to chat with Deanne and find out just a little bit about what her training entailed, and then I just want to review the policy again and find out if I have any edits to it. It's not something that should take more than an hour. The point is scheduling the hour
mhm.
and doing it.
Is that all the old business? Okay. So the new
well, Janine's
business,
not here.
what?
Well, Janine's not here, so.
Janine's not here.
Yeah. Oh, did everybody see the new, we didn't really make a motion to approve the new job form, but it's up online and it looks good. I sent it out to everybody.
I thought it looked great.
The only edit I would make is a sentence to include that you need to be approved by or you need to be sworn in by the town clerk as a new member. But it does work. It only goes to my email. I don't know why. We
We'll
gotta
have
fix
to
that.
Figure out how to redirect it.
Yeah.
Cause I think your email's Gmail, isn't it? Underlying?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it should work.
But is that your
Mhm.
personal email?
No, it's the Pine
Oh.
Plains. Yeah.
Okay, convenient.
We did have a board email address that,
nobody looks at.
no, Alexis used to see it and then forward stuff when necessary. And then it just never got looked at, so it doesn't make sense to keep using it, I don't think. Did we take it off the website? We should take it off.
Well,
If we're not gonna use it, we should,
yeah, yeah. I forgot to check it too.
yeah. Okay, so the,
Hold on, one more
oh,
thing.
one more thing.
Well, two more
Sorry.
things. I was ready to move on this in February, putting money into accounts.
Yep.
Allison's not here.
Yep.
She's kind of the point person, but she gave us all the information via email.
Right.
I'm still ready to do that. I think we are
I
wasting
agree.
about $10,000 right now. So I think we should move on that.
So who's gonna, how does that happen?
Yeah, walk me through, like, if we approved it right now, who is the person that would take the steps to get that done, and how would that happen?
Ted and Claire would be the signatories on the account, right? The
Mhm.
president and the financial officer. And it would be moving the money from one account into another, into a different bank. I don't know if Ted has any opinions on it, but
You know, when this was first proposed, I asked to be involved in this. And I was ignored completely. So I have no opinion because I have no idea what the hell you're doing.
Well, see, so we looked at things and we found out what the rates were, but nobody actually came, and Allison didn't, and, with a real actual plan. I don't know, like, which money we're talking about, which dollars are going where, because it was hard to act on it because it was kind of just, this is what we did research. I would happily do that, but I think we need a more formal plan.
I think that Allison and Ted and Claire and maybe Ethan should have a conversation about what the plan is. Write out, make sure that Ted is comfortable with what we're gonna do. Write up the
Mhm.
plan and then bring it to the board the next meeting and we'll move it from there. I know it's another month, 3 weeks, but I think we should do that.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. It sounds like there's a lot of research that has been done already, and it just
Yep.
needs to come together and
It needs to-
have the four noggins discuss it and agree.
Okay. Okay.
that was one, and then what was the other one? Oh, board evaluation for the director. I sent it to everybody? Did I send it to you? Maybe you?
I think I remember it.
So what I don't have is any recollection of
Samples.
what did you send?
I sent samples, national samples.
Okay.
One was
Well, we did it
from,
for Alexis.
yeah.
Right,
um,
they were driven by Beth, and the year that I started and Beth was walking out the door, I never saw the
I
final
think I have them.
review of it, so I need to see what we're talking about. Deanne just finished her first actual year, so we have to pick, are we doing it on her anniversary, or should
No,
we
we
have
need to
done
do
it
it
in the
yearly.
year? Okay, so we,
We should do it so that it's in the year. So we have to decide when that is though, and then we do it every time that year. So like
Okay.
we could do her reviews in July.
in July,
Those could be that could be
Okay.
her review period.
okay,
Or it could be September or whatever we decide, but then it always needs to be that
okay.
that time.
I just forwarded it to you all again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I can also, we did one for Patrick at the newspaper. I can show you what we did for what
Uh-huh.
that we used for him as well.
Yeah, and the two samples I included are, one's a little more complicated than like 8 pages. That's a bit much.
Okay, I have that. Okay.
And then one of them
Did you send
is,
it to my Yahoo? Oh, there we go.
yeah, yes.
Claire, I just sent you the one that Beth did.
Okay, I haven't gotten it yet.
No, I just sent it.
Okay, yeah, so I'll work on figuring something out so that we can do that. Shortly. Okay. Is that everything?
That's all I got.
Okay. New business, we need to vote on, did you have the wording
Oh, you
that
had
I
that.
sent? Okay, so I'll pull that up. Did you get that file that I sent? Because we're missing minutes that need to go on our website.
Oh, okay.
We skipped a meeting, we didn't have quorum that month that we were voting on it, so we put the minutes that said we don't have quorum and never put the actual meeting minutes
Okay.
that had the vote.
We have to find that.
Let me,
Meeting minutes that are missing, we'll figure it.
okay, hold on.
Yeah,
I know we're only
Remember
missing
that.
March, right?
It's that,
We're
yep,
missing
it was,
three
that was
months.
the month we needed. Where did? Oh. Sorry. I had it a second ago and I don't. Sorry, guys.
Do you want me to go print it out?
No. No, I found it. Okay. I'm going to, oh, yeah, because we'll have to, I'll have to read the whole thing out. But what we have to do is pass the tax override. So I'm gonna read it out loud into the session, and then I'll send you a copy of it, Patrick, to put it into the meeting, the minutes. Okay,
Do we need to know the amount that we're overriding?
what?
Do we need to know the amount?
We're gonna have to do that, but we don't have to do that. This has to be done regardless of the amount. Okay, so this is the tax cap override. So we're gonna pass I would like to make a resolution to pass the tax cap override. Whereas the adoption of the 2026 budget for the Pine Plains Free Library may require a tax levy increase that exceeds the tax cap imposed by the state law as outlined in General Municipal Law Section 3-C adopted in 2011. And whereas General Municipal Law Section 3-C expressly permits the library board to override the tax levy limit by a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of qualified board members. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Pine Plains Free Library voted and approved to exceed the tax levy limit for 2026 by at least the 60% of the Board of Trustees as required by state law on June 24th, 2025. We need a second.
I will second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Can someone do the math that we hit 60%? I can't do math.
Well, we have,
We're missing
Seven.
Allison and Ruth, right?
we're,
You don't count, but we have 4 here.
Neen doesn't count.
oh, we have 4 here. That's 57. Patrick does count,
Does he count?
Yeah, I
doesn't
can.
he?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Well,
For a in-person
Oh, 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 oh.
I thought Ruth was gonna be here.
Do you want to run over here right now, Patrick, and vote?
I can't. I don't have a car.
I can come pick you up. Where are you?
Not far.
Does the
Um,
language say seated board members or?
It says qualified board members.
I think that means 60% of the seated board members.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't,
And we only have 4 out of 7. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
What happens if we don't approve this today?
we're gonna have to have a special meeting.
yeah, let's just do a special meeting because then maybe we could do the money as well.
Right,
Maybe we could do
right.
it
We need,
next
well, we
week.
need to do the money as well. So we
No,
have
no,
to,
I meant the
oh, yeah,
checking the
Okay.
accounts, but we also need to do the money. So
okay,
I think we should do a special board meeting and that way Jean doesn't need to be here.
okay, okay. Should we talk about this to then be voted on at the special meeting? Cause I think we have to pass the tax cap override before we vote on the budget
Okay.
proposal.
Okay, well, my point of view is that we go for as much as possible.
Okay, let's do that.
Can I have that again? Thank you. Right by
So we pulled up the current numbers. After we had our last meeting and had kind of come up with a number. That we wanted to go forward with. Deanne and I pulled up the current vote, the tax rolls for the town. And ran those numbers against some kind of like generic, average home prices. To see, and I think we could actually increase what we were talking about because the tax base went up a bit in the last 2 years. So our ask is now a smaller percentage of a larger pile.
So what I did, yeah, that's what I did on
Right,
this.
so yeah, so that's what Deanne has outlined it here. Is so we agreed at our meeting, was that just last week? 2 weeks, a week and a half ago? That we were gonna go with the 20,000. And then, I looked at it compared to my tax bill, and it's going up by fairly little to go up a little more. And I just was wondering whether people had an opinion, whether we really should go for just the 20,000 or the 200,000 or try to nudge it up a little farther.
Do you remember the numbers for your house?
It was, my house was 125 for the taxes, this past year. And then the numbers, when we plugged in my home value, it was, it only went up to about, it was like 133 or something like that. So it was really, it ended up feeling much less than this illustration shows, but
These are the numbers I used from the spreadsheet that Mid Hudson gave me. So
Right.
this is based on.
right on their formulas. So
Yeah.
I don't know, does $10 a year more? Or or is the 25 what we think we can sell? I guess we need to have decided this before we put the number into the vote, because then we can't change it again. So,
I like the idea of going for as much as we possibly can. I think over a certain number is a significantly harder sell because people will only look at one number, or they'll only hear, oh, the budget's going up, whatever it is, $60,000, $50,000. That's my opinion. But it is not. It's a minuscule amount.
Right.
It really is. So it's how we market it.
Yeah.
It's how we sell it. That's why I asked about your house, because your house is like the average house in this town.
Right, yeah,
Average
pretty
property
much,
size,
yeah.
average
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah, it felt like, and then I closed the spreadsheet, so I don't have it up on my computer. It didn't feel like that much, when I was looking at it. So to me, asking for 128 or 129 versus 138 doesn't seem that big a reach in comparison.
Well, the cost per year is based on the average house for this assessment.
Yeah.
And I broke it down by month, so. But it was the thing that the number underneath that you can, the smaller number underneath the 0.29239 per thousand is what you can use that formula to calculate your own.
Can I ask a
Whatever.
question? What is the monthly, sorry, what is the yearly cost per house now?
If under the current assessment of the town assessment at the tentative amount, that's what you're seeing, 166,900. That's the column. It'll be
That's what our
103.
current-
So currently the average that people are paying is 103.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the percentage increase from 103 to 141?
141.
Well, yes,
highest
to the
amount.
highest number.
The cost per year.
I had 222.
No, Jenna's doing that.
Oh,
Right now, I'm having like a
Okay.
so it's
mental block, so you just,
37%.
okay, yeah, you would divide
It's 37, that's a 37%
Percent
increase.
Yes.
that number.
Okay, so that seems high.
Yeah, if
so
you like,
yeah, at
People know that,
222,000 is 31.8% increase.
It per
Yeah,
person, I'm talking about. So that's the 31.8 is the yearly, it's the budget increase. It's not the per person.
It's
by
correct.
year.
It's a budget, the 220, going from 166.9 to 220 is a 31.8% increase.
Increase in the overall budget. Yeah,
Yes.
what I was looking for was the average cost,
Oh, from-
average percentage cost per person,
Okay.
because that's what they're gonna be paying. So,
We do 141.
but if it's 37%, that's not a number we're gonna wanna use, which is, we don't have to use that number. We just have to figure out a number that sounds better.
Right.
And even 30%, I think sounds high when we say that, so I don't think we should market it that way.
Okay.
I mean, I think we can still do it and ask for it, and someone could be smart enough to figure out the math.
I can't figure out the math, but it's over. We're already even the lowest level at 128.76. That's more than a 20% increase over 103.43.
Right, and I don't think that we just need to not get into the weeds about the percentages here and the numbers here. I mean, we can at some point, but I think we should not obfuscate it, but let's
I
not,
agree.
let's not be marching around town with,
I
it's gonna
think-
cost you $150 more a
I
month.
think talking about,
No, I don't know. No one asked last time,
yeah,
really.
they really didn't ask the last time. It was really strange.
Supported.
Right.
I think if we start talking about 100,000 worth of value, ends up being a easier number to swallow. It just feels, it's just a, it's.
So to be clear, the cost per year is the average home cost. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I might pay, or what Jenna might pay, or what Claire might pay, it's a smaller amount than,
It's that little number underneath the 0.38.
based on your own personal value, like your
Mhm.
Yeah,
home's
you can
personal
figure that
value.
out per 1,000 there.
So that might be another selling point because all the new houses that have been built in this town
Right.
over the past 2 years are multi-million dollar massive houses.
Mhm, and they're gonna have to pay.
So they're immediately getting hit
Mhm.
harder.
Well, but wait, another $500 isn't gonna make a difference.
No, I appreciate that, but the local base who may be more concerned about that 37%
Mhm.
increase. It's not 37% for
Mhm.
them,
For them,
more than
yeah.
likely.
Mhm.
It's significantly less because of the development and the new houses we've
Got
had
it.
in town.
It's to be offset by that.
That's our selling, or that's one of them.
Don't worry, poor people of Pine Plains. The rich New Yorkers who are moving to town will pay for your library.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. I'm in marketing, can you tell?
Which is why I think it ends up, like. The 100,000, value, when you see the number per 1,000, that like,
Mhm.
but if it's 38.50 per $100,000 value, that, might be the way to frame that. Versus 37.65, or 35.
But I mean, also the tax base from 2022 when this budget was first.
And we actually
Now.
don't know what the tax base is yet.
It
That
was
number,
tentative. It was 15.8%.
it'll be out in the next month.
Yeah. That was tentative.
Um. But I do. I guess my opinion is, I think we should go for more. I think we should do 220.
So do I.
And make a really big browsing. So, push for that. We need to schedule a meeting fairly quickly to vote on these things, and Patrick, we need it to be when you're physically present.
I will be
After
there
you
on,
finish.
on Friday. Or, yeah, Friday. I mean, I'll be there starting Friday. Through the weekend, today's
Okay,
Tuesday.
so we need to have doesn't need to be a long meeting, but we're gonna have to do a meeting. Should we do it Saturday morning?
But
Can you
because
do
we have
Saturday?
we have the thing in the afternoon.
Yeah, we have something in the afternoon.
So the
Can you
morning's
do
fine
in the
with me.
morning? So
Sure.
You're the one, unless, I mean, I don't know what Jenna does, but you have the weekend work.
No, I work during the week. I am going away, but not till late. I won't leave till later on Saturday, so we
Okay.
can do the morning. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, so
What's your timing?
7 a.m. would be great.
I'm an early bird, so I can come in here
7
whenever.
a.m. is a little early for me, to be perfectly frank, but I can do it if necessary.
Can we say,
We need Allison. Because I wanna wrap up that other financial thing. And if Ted can come too, or if you and Ted and Allison can have a conversation at least before Saturday, then we can vote on that on Saturday too.
Because Friday evening doesn't work, right? I don't know what time that gets here, but.
I mean, I could do Friday evening. Hold on.
I'm on a 24. I can't.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, Saturday.
So what did we decide? Saturday morning?
yeah, 9 a.m.?
I didn't hear that. 7?
9, yes, Saturday, 9
9
a.m.
or 7? I can't hear.
9 a.m.
Thank you.
Patrick's still in shock because he hates getting up there.
Mm,
Is that a motion?
Okay.
Second?
You have to have a motion for
Just-
setting up a meeting.
We need to get it out as fast as possible to do that
Okay.
Tomorrow morning.
tomorrow morning. Yeah. Do we need to vote on having a meeting?
Nah.
No. Okay. So I guess if we're kicking the actual whereases to Saturday, we can do that. Do we
Okay.
need to vote on no, we have to actually vote on the number. So we'll vote, I'll type it all up neat and pretty so I can read it without pretending I have it written down right. And then we can hand it off to Patrick and do it.
Okay.
Is there anything else everyone needs to know?
So do you have a schedule or a timetable for everything?
For
Before
when
411?
everything, when the postcards have to be done and when the signs go up?
Yeah.
No, we'll get back to you.
The cap override, I pulled up the minutes because I specifically wrote this in the minutes. Cap override needs to be moved on June 17th. The board then approves petition to the public over the next month. Vote to approve signatures in July, submit those to the town clerk to verify signatures and file a petition with the county board of elections by the first week in August. So the signs can go out anytime
Hmm.
after,
Well,
the
I
after the
guess we
petition
don't-
gets accepted.
Yeah, but I guess we don't. You need to put them out that soon? People get visually.
I would say 30 days.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, so we wouldn't really need them. And is it 30 days before early voting starts or?
Yeah.
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 So, mid-September.
Or September. Oh,
Mid-
vote no
mid-
early, no.
Yeah,
I think so.
Sort of
Early
early
voting
voting.
starts, October.
yeah.
So mid-September, we'll be ready to go.
A question,
Yep.
who is responsible for communicating what we just did to the New York State Controller's Office?
Oh. I don't know. What actually has to be sent to them?
Well, supposedly the tax override and how much it,
Okay.
We can find that. Y'all haven't done
Well,
this yet.
haven't
we
done that
haven't,
yet.
we haven't voted so we won't vote until Saturday. So we'll find out exactly what has to be sent to them and in what format, and we'll get it sent to them. Okay. Does it have, yeah, okay. We'll look into that. Thank you. I don't have a pen. I think that's everything then. If we don't have any new business, we don't have an executive session. We need a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second.
Jenna seconding, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ted.